Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Bungie have just finished up their second of 3 live streams in which they are showing off some of the new stuff we have to look forward to in the upcoming Curse of Osiris DLC. And today's focus was predominantly on MERCURY, the new patrol zone. If you guys haven't already seen it, then I uploaded a video showing some gameplay from MERCURY, and that was recorded when I went to visit Bungie a couple of weeks back. In that, we take a look at the new public event, the Lost Sector on MERCURY, the general space itself, and I talk a bit about my time playing and my thoughts on the space. So that's linked down below if you guys want to check it out. However, in addition to that, there were a few more things they spoke about in today's stream that I wanted to recap, just in case you guys missed it, namely the weapon forge and how exactly the forging process works, plus a note on adventures and, more importantly, heroic adventures. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below and let me know what you guys think and if you have any questions. Now, to begin with, let's talk about the weapon forge. They mentioned it in passing last week. It's this area in the lighthouse, the new social space, and this altar is the place you go to craft the Osiris Vex themed weapons that you've been seeing used in some of the gameplay. There are 11 in total, and on the wall, this dial or wheel, whatever you want to call it, will track what weapons you have crafted with an illuminated symbol. This way you know at a glance how many you have already and how many are still left to find. But the question is, how does the actual process work? Well, first things first, this is something you won't be able to do until post-campaign, so first priority is going to be to complete the story mission. It's not as long as the base Destiny 2 campaign, so it won't take you anywhere near as long, so if crafting these weapons is something you want to get to as a matter of urgency, then it won't be too far out of your reach. Once you've completed the campaign, if you visit Brother Vance, who is also a vendor that you can hand tokens into in order to get some other gear and weapons, but on top of that, he will also offer you these lost prophecies. There are 11 verses in total, each one corresponding to one of the nodes on the dial, and more importantly, each one corresponding to a different weapon archetype. These verses are essentially mini quests, so when you pick one up, if you go to your inventory, it'll tell you what you need to do. So in the case of verse 3, which is for the hand cannon, you need 1 concentrated Radiolarian culture and 2 advanced paradox amplifiers. Further inspection will tell you exactly where these come from. The Radiolarian culture comes from public event chests, and the amplifier comes from crucible matches, heroic adventures, or strikes. So essentially, once you have one of these, you just go and play the game till you get what you need. In the stream, they simply gifted themselves the item to speed up the process, but once you use the items or consume them to complete the verse, you return to Brother Vance, complete the prophecy, and you can then walk over to the forge and make the weapon. Now at this stage, it's not clear whether the weapon availability is staggered, whether this is something whereby on a weekly basis, we can only claim 1 weapon per character and the other available options rotate, or whether you can simply only do 1 at a time and once you've done 1, you can just go back and get another. That much we don't know, and they didn't specify, but that is essentially how we'll be crafting the weapons. It may be that different weapons have different criteria, but largely they are going to simply have us do activities that we already play and then hand those in for more gear. The weapon you see being inspected in the background is the hand cannon, featuring Vex and Osiris modifications. I had a chance to test out a couple of these weapons while playing the DLC, but I'm not really able to talk specifically about weapons for now, so we'll keep that brief. But that's the forge, and those are the lost prophecies. The other thing I want to talk about quickly were heroic adventures. Adventures up until now have been these side quest sort of activities that we could do. They provide extra narrative and context to the destination that we're exploring, and in some situations they even led us to exotic quests. Well, adventures are returning on MERCURY, as are all the other things you'd expect of a patrol zone. However, they won't appear until you complete the campaign, and that's true of pretty much everything, so long story short, just play the story missions, then do the other stuff. However, adventures this time, some are normal, but some are heroic. And according to the livestream, the heroic ones present a real challenge. Quite how challenging? We'll of course have to wait and see. I didn't get to try one myself, so I can't really comment on difficulty. But what they did say is that the adventures will be a good way to explore MERCURY. See, one thing they did show off in the livestream, and I'm really glad they did, was the patrol space beyond the main area. If you see my MERCURY gameplay video, then you'll know that I said I was only able to explore MERCURY before completing the campaign, and as such, the patrol space that I had access to was much smaller. I went into the Infinite Forest for subsequent missions, but since I didn't get to complete the story, I wasn't able to truly explore the patrol zone to get an understanding of how it all connects. What we can now see from the stream is that you essentially have 3 hubs. The main area that you load into and the one that I got to play, and you then have MERCURY in the past and in the future, and to get to those you go through the Infinite Forest. The Dark Future is the more sinister looking MERCURY, where there is no light or dark or humanity, and the Vex basically won, and that's where the adventure takes them. And in the past, well, sadly I can't talk about that, but it's cool and it's probably the one that I liked the most from my time playing. But that is of course me getting a little bit sidetracked. The main focus here is of course that adventures now offer heroic versions. Again, another question that comes to mind, is this something they are going to extend to existing destinations? Could we perhaps revisit the EDZ or Nessus and do some of those adventures in heroic? Maybe. Honestly, we don't know that much. Again, they haven't said. But for the time being, that is something else to call out. We'll have a Heroic Strike playlist, Heroic Adventures, and of course, the new Weapon Forge. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. Those were just a few things that I wanted to kind of call out. They were some of the additional things I spoke about during the stream that I didn't cover in my video that I've already uploaded. So if you've seen that one and this one together, then you should all be caught up. For the time being, that's pretty much it. Keep it locked because, of course, next week there will be one final live stream. Bungie themselves will be talking about the gear you can earn and showing us some of the stuff. In fact, they actually confirmed they'll be showing us the faction gear, the trials gear, the raid gear, and some of the other gear as well. So basically a very big gear showcase. And of course, from my point of view, I'll also be able to show you guys the new Crucible maps as well. I'll try and dig out some gameplay where I'm not dying too many times. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.